Welcome in. It is day 97, and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. Yesterday, we spoke about a Halloween game that was a Kickstarter small little deck of cards. Today, on October 15th, the middle of the month, we're going to be speaking about another Kickstarter game. Another game that's a deck of cards. Another game that I backed right around the same time as that one. This game is called Man vs. Apocalypse. Now, this game is interesting. The concept is you have two deck of cards in here. One of them are the Apocalypse cards, and one of them are your different people from town cards. You shuffle both. 3 Apocalypse cards are randomly discarded to the side, and you don't know what they are. Otherwise, you shuffle all the rest of the cards up. Everybody gets 5 of them, and then you begin. You can activate cards in front of you before you start the deck. So wherever cards you want to put out, you can. And then you're going to start by flipping over the Apocalypse deck. Whoever was the dealer flips it. Now, we're going to have to respond to the Apocalypse. The Apocalypse has negative effects and positive effects. So the negative effects is it might cause a whole bunch of deaths in your town, or it could eliminate a player, it could cause negative points. And the positives are it might allow you to draw cards, or it might protect somebody of a certain style. So now you have the ability for people to activate the abilities of their people. If a card says, discard this card and you can prevent this kind of apocalypse, or an apocalypse in general, or this card is going to protect your people. These cards now have the ability to activate. If somebody destroys the apocalypse, it's gone, but you don't get the positives. You're doing this and slowly getting through each round. You're going to get at the end of the round, you're going to pass the dealer, people are going to get new cards from their deck, you're going to flip a new apocalypse, and at the end, when all the apocalypse cards from the deck have been flipped, you will then see who is left in your towns, and you will count up their point value in their corners, and you'll see what you have points. And whoever has the most points wins. It's straightforward and simple, but I do find that this game is a little bit, yes, it's great that you don't necessarily know what 3 apocalypses are removed, so that does change up what kind of cards may or may not be power cards. But beyond that, it's still the randomness of what you're getting, and it's not like you can buy cards from a community area and be able to choose how to mold your deck. It's not like you can trade cards. I feel like this is a lot more luck-based for me that I like. But that being said, let's jump into our categories and see what we think. So, art. The art of this game is okay. I think that if you're judging it on the card art alone, card art is cute, it's kidsy friendly, but when you include the box doesn't sell me at all. Again, this was one of my first year Kickstarters. It was before I was ready for the big money Kickstarters, so even though it was kind of crappy looking, when you're talking 10 to 12 years ago, a lot of stuff on Kickstarter was kind of crappy looking. They weren't at the production level that they are today, where when you go on, you can tell that nobody knows what they're doing. This is somebody independent, but they have a cool game. This is a big company. And today you know how to figure that out pretty quick if you Kickstart a lot. And you can just skim down a page and say, I'm definitely not in on these, I'm definitely in on those, and I'm not sure about these. Back then, everything was, I'm not sure. So you read a lot more, and you tried to learn a lot more, and you took a little bit more chance. And this was one of those that I took a chance on because it was cheap. And for me, I don't think that the art today, when I look at it, that box art really, I would never buy it. So I have to give that a thumbs down. The components are cards, that's all it is. You do have one little token for the start player, but that to me, it's not even needed, so it's not a big deal. I consider the components to be fine. The cards have held up, and I don't think they're going to be easily rippable or falling apart or anything like that. So I'll give them their thumbs up. The price runs into the same issue as the other day. This is not a game you are going to find anywhere. So even though the initial price value of this card game is right around $10, it doesn't matter. Because if you can't buy it, what does it matter if it's cheap or not. It's not available. You're not going to find this in the store. You're not going to find this in a chain store. You're not going to find this online. It's got to be a thumbs down for availability. The difficulty is, this is not difficult, but I think that that's a hindrance to the game. I don't think this is a game expert or experienced players will ever touch. I think that beginner players, it'll be okay, but that may even make them like deterred from wanting to play more games, because I think that they're going to look at this as being like, wasn't a lot of choice. Some people might get into it, but I just don't think so. I think kids will enjoy it. And I think because it does have that apocalypse feel, it gets a little bit more Halloween themed. Sure, get it for your kids in a stocking stuffer, or get it for them for this time of year to let them have a Halloween theme, or I shouldn't say Halloween theme, but let them have a darker theme. Go with the fall setup of, hey, let's have some fun, and in September, October, November, we can play this little card game. Just like Zombie Shuffle, I think this is one you can pull out and play easily and bring on a random family or friend get-togethers, and you might get to play it for a quick 10, 15-minute game. But I think you're only hitting up the kids with this. I don't think anybody above that level is going to touch it. And so for that reason, it's got to be a thumbs down. Replayability, you're only going to get replayability, I feel, from kids at this time of the year. So you're not playing it multiple times in a year. You're not playing it with those 3 other levels. You're playing it with 1 level of person, the kid level, for the September to November area, multiple times in a session. It's too few opportunities there. It's got to be a thumbs down. The keys to victory are, it's too random. You're talking about a game where you don't know what apocalypse is coming out. You don't know which ones aren't in the game, and you don't get to choose your cards. Your cards are randomly given to you. So in that regard, there is no real key to victory. It's the luck to victory, and that is a big thumbs down for me. I'm not a fan of that. Is this game unique? I don't think so. Just like Zombie Shuffle, it's another simple card game. So it's something small and a little card to, deal it out. That's fine. We've dealt with games where you deal with the different type apocalypse settings and something comes out and it's attacking you. There's many games that do that. We've dealt with games where, you get cards that you have to use to protect yourself. The difference is that the only unique part of this is that it's not as good as those. Instead of having a deck builder, you have it's random. Instead of being able to purchase from a location or earn a card, it's random. Anything that you could say is unique is a bad unique, and for that, it's got to be a thumbs down. So overall, what do I think of this game? I think this game was fine for its early investment. I was fine picking it up on Kickstarter when I got it. But today, I wouldn't care if it was a Kickstarter, in a store, I wouldn't buy this game. I don't recommend it. I think that if you do have a kid and you somehow come across this, hey, fine, toss it into your kids something along the way to let them play. It's a nice little kids game. But this is not a game that I think you want to really be pushing on even kids to be the intro to a real board gamer's collection. I think that if you think your kid likes a little game, but they're not really the gamer type and they just want something to pull out once in a while, sure. But in general, it's okay to just skip this one. Well, that's just my opinion. It's up to you guys to see if you can find this, see if you can get it to the table. Maybe you do like it. I just may be on the outskirts of that particular one. But this has been day 97, and we have been talking about Man vs. Apocalypse, and you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and if you look down below in the description, if I can find this, which I doubt, but if I can, I will add it in for the Amazon link so you can pick it up for yourself. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.